Deep in the forest lived a woodcutter. He worked hard every day. He cut trees to sell to the village. It was how he made a living. Life was not easy for him. He lived a simple life. He had a small hut on the edge of the woods. The forest was his world. He knew every path and every stream. He could tell the different types of trees by their bark. He respected the forest. It provided for him and his family, but he also needed to use its resources to survive. Every morning, he would greet the rising sun. He would then venture into the woods with his trusty axe. The birds would sing as he worked. The deer would sometimes watch him from a distance. He felt a connection to the forest. It was his home. The woodcutter was not a greedy man. He only took what he needed. He knew that the forest was precious. He wanted to protect it too. He hoped that his children would be able to enjoy its beauty. The woodcutter had a routine. He would cut down a tree. Then he would plant a new sapling in its place. He believed this would keep the forest alive. He wanted to ensure that there would always be trees for future generations. He knew it took many years for a tree to grow. He was patient. He understood the slow rhythm of nature. He knew that his small act of planting would make a difference. He felt a sense of satisfaction in planting the saplings. One day, he went deeper into the forest than usual. He was looking for a particular type of wood. This wood was strong and durable. He needed it to make a new door for his hut. The old one was falling apart. He walked for hours. He listened to the sounds of the forest. The wind rustled the leaves. Squirrels chattered in the trees. He felt a sense of peace in the forest. It was his sanctuary. As he walked, he noticed a tree he had never seen before. It was a massive tree. It was larger than any other tree he had ever seen. Its trunk was thick and gnarled. Its branches reached up to the sky like long arms. The leaves of the tree were a deep green. They shimmered in the sunlight. The woodcutter had never seen anything like it. He was awestruck. He had never felt so small. He felt a presence emanating from the tree. It was as if it had a soul. He approached the tree cautiously. He reached out to touch its bark. It felt rough and cool beneath his fingers. As he did so, he heard a voice. It was a deep, booming voice. It seemed to come from the tree itself. "Woodcutter," the voice said, "I have watched you over the years." The woodcutter was astonished. He had never heard a tree speak before. He was both scared and amazed. "You have respected this forest," the voice continued. "You have taken only what you need. You have planted new trees in their place. For this, I thank you." "However," the voice went on, "I must warn you. Do not cut down any trees in this part of the forest. This is a sacred grove. The trees here are protected." The woodcutter was torn. He needed the wood for his door, but he also respected the tree's warning. He didn't want to do anything that would harm the forest. Greed got the better of him. He decided he would take just one tree. Surely the tree wouldn't mind, he thought. He raised his axe to strike the ancient tree. "No!" the tree boomed. "Do not do this. You will regret it." The woodcutter ignored the warning. He swung his axe with all his might. The axe bit deep into the tree's trunk. Suddenly, the sky grew dark. The wind howled through the trees. Rain began to fall. It came down in sheets. A bolt of lightning flashed across the sky. The woodcutter felt a surge of fear. He had made a terrible mistake. He ran through the forest. The rain beat down on him. The wind tore at his clothes. He could hear the roar of the storm all around him. He finally reached his hut. He collapsed on the floor, exhausted and terrified. He had never seen a storm like it before. He looked around his humble home. He realized that his desire for a new door was foolish. He had risked the wrath of the forest for nothing. He felt ashamed of himself. The next morning the storm had passed. The woodcutter emerged from his hut. He was shocked by what he saw. The forest was devastated. Trees were uprooted, branches were scattered everywhere. The woodcutter's heart sank. He realized that he was responsible for the destruction. He had brought this upon himself by ignoring the tree's warning. He decided to make things right. He spent the next few days cleaning up the forest. He cleared away the fallen branches. He planted new trees in place of the ones that had been destroyed. He worked tirelessly. He knew that he had a lot to make up for. As he worked, he felt a sense of peace. It was the peace of someone who is trying to atone for their mistakes. Many years passed. The forest had recovered from the storm. In fact, it was even more vibrant than before. New trees had grown tall and strong. Animals had returned to the forest. The woodcutter was an old man now. He still lived in his hut on the edge of the woods. He often visited the ancient tree. He would sit in its shade and listen to the wind rustle its leaves. One day, he was sitting beneath the tree when a group of children came upon him. They were from the village. They had never seen a tree so big. "Grandfather," one of the children asked, "why is this tree so special?" The old woodcutter smiled. "This tree," he said, "is a reminder that nature is powerful. We must respect it and protect it. If we do, it will reward us. If we don't, it will surely punish us." The children listened intently. They knew that the old woodcutter was wise. They promised that they would always respect the forest. We should all learn from the woodcutter's mistake. We must remember that nature is a gift. We must cherish it and protect it for generations to come.